Fáilte the Folklore Friday, and we're doing this every Friday. Sometimes I do it on a Thursday evening if, Friday's going to be busy, but generally we're doing it on a Friday evening, and we go through, or rather I go through, and you're watching along at home, hopefully. We go through the Duchas, the National Schools Collection, the Schools Collection from the National Folklore Collection at duchas.ie, and you get a link down below to the material that we're looking at, and it's definitely worth going in and having a fish around that site because it does not get enough love, and I've been banging this drum for a very, very long time, but it really is the repository for a lot of our, Irish paganism, our living tradition with Irish paganism, because our magic, our folklore, our fairy stories, all of that was so and is so still integrated into our society, or it's a living culture, it's a living tradition. So we're going to have a quick look at that today. I'm just going to share my screen. I've pulled one up here, just two little stories. One is about a fairy cat and one is about a banshee. And there are so many stories about the banshee and about the fairies on this website. And it's really important, as I said, to kind of go in and have a look for yourself and start to read the stories as they're being told, because you get an ear for it. Then you get acclimatized to it, and that's really important part, because as I said, the magic, the pagan spirituality, that is all really, really bedded into our society and woven in through it. So you need to actually understand what's here, what's going on, before you can start working deeply or profoundly with any Irish pagan stuff. So we're going to have a look at a fairy cat. Now, in this story, excuse me, now my mic is a bit weird. In this story, what we're going to see is a kind of an interesting way that the fairies are just used as a catch-all term for anything weird or anything odd. And in fairness, weird and odd things, even from the very kind of mundane right up to the very, very strange, I wouldn't say that they wouldn't have anything to do with the fairies, because the fairies, the other crowd, the good neighbours, they're all like, there's a whole other world over there, literally another world. And the denizens and beings and, lords and ladies and creatures of that world do interfere and cross over in this world. So those are very regular and very interesting occurrences when they do happen, but varied is the word I was looking for. Like there's a whole range of how and why that would happen. So there is a tendency in Irish folklore to kind of, as I said, give everything the term, this is the fairies, or this is from the fairies. So we're going to see an example of that here with the fairy cat story. So it's from Lickerig in County Galway, which is near Loughrea on the Shannon. So this is a story told about a woman who lived in the townland of Raheen. Let me just get that right. The townland of, Raheen, near Kilcrust, Loughrea, about 80 years ago. So these were collected, I think, in the 60s. So just for reference. It was summertime, and she used to go out every evening to the field to milk the cow. And one evening she saw a cat sitting on the wall near her. And when she was returning home, the cat followed her to the house. She took no notice of it. She thought that it belonged to one of the neighbours. And the next evening then, the same thing happened. So on the third evening when it happened, things happen in threes. And generally, like even the most kind of, as I said, mundane seeming occurrences can develop a significance when they start getting repetitive, or you start seeing a pattern to them. And that's the kind of magic that we need to be looking out for. And on the third evening, when she got to the house, she gave the cat a saucer of milk. The cat drank all the milk, and when it had finished, the cat said to the woman, "Is maithlam an rud gur thug dom banya dom an tróna seo." Now, I'm My Irish is not perfect, but I'm going to presume that that second thumb is either the first or the second thumb is like a typo, because I believe what it should read is, it's a good thing that you gave me the milk this afternoon. And that's kind of where the story ends then. It just says, that with that, the cat disappeared and was seen no more. Now, the assumption here, for anybody kind of familiar with the fairy stories, would be that this was kind of like a positive interaction, that by giving the cat the milk, if the cat was another world being, that there was some kind of blessing after being conferred, right? And it's often the way with the fairies where you don't know you're getting into trouble or you're getting, a good thing on your head or a bad thing on your head, until after the fact. So that's kind of the moral of this story, like, kind of be kind, be nice, because you really don't know when you're dealing with another world being or not. And then there is a story about a banshee. We're just going to do a little twofer here. So we got a story about a banshee, and as I said, there's loads and loads and loads. Now, banshee just means woman of the she. So a woman of the mounds or woman of the fairy people. She is used in both contexts. And it says here, two men were returning home from a visit one night when they saw Banshee sitting on a wall and combing her hair. Banshee disappeared when they came near, but she left her comb on the wall. Now, one of the men took her comb. Big mistake. You never take the Banshee's comb, right? You don't touch it. Even I knew that growing up as a kid. So, in the middle of the night, the Banshee came to the window and asked the men for her comb. Now, that's a very polite way of saying it. I've seen kind of variations in this tale, and asked the men for her comb is usually like a terrifying apparition of, like, windows rattling and storms blazing and, all sorts of wailing and screaming and crying. And, it wouldn't just be a polite rap on the door and, can I have my comb back, please? So, but that's the way it's given here. And the man handed out the comb on a spade. Now, actually, all that being said, because as the story goes, the man handed out the comb on the spade, right? And the Banshee took it off the spade. So a spade is just a shovel. And the Banshee took it off the spade, thinking that the spade was the man's hand, and she broke the spade in two. Now, a working, working man's spade or working woman's spade or shovel would be quite a heavy object. So this is showing obviously the power and the trickery of the she, because I might kind of contradict myself there. There might have been a polite, can I have my comb back, please? In an effort to, lull them into a false sense of security. So that could be where the story's going with this. We don't have any more details, so we don't know. So I hope you enjoyed those little dips into Irish folklore and fairy stories, because there, as I said, there is a wealth of them. And if you want more, please do subscribe. And we have videos coming out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays currently. Most weeks, and there's a load of material on the channel that is just like this. If you enjoyed this story, there'll be some links at the end, and subscribe and give us a like and a share and all that good stuff. Okay, so Gura Magat and Slán go fóill.